Hello again, you're watching The Weekly, more of our top stories of the last 7 days. And some are hailing it as a financial phenomenon while others have their doubts. We're talking about Iceland's economy showing cautious growth after being thrown into all the economic turmoil back in 2008. And this follows measures that Europe's financial chiefs condemned as suicidal at the Times. Now, instead of trying to bail out the banks, Iceland government let those banks collapse, you may recall at the time. It also refused to provide any compensation for foreign savers after Iceland has delivered a resounding no to a vote on that proposal. The government did bail a quarter of the population, though, by waiving unpayable debts. It also, too, pursued the banking executives that were guilty of causing the financial crisis in the first place. Professor of Binary Economics Rodney Shakespeare believes Iceland setting a remarkable example.
You must rely on your own national bank for your own uses, for your own real economy and for the spreading. And if you don't do that, you'll be trapped into debt in the same way that, well, you've got Greece, you've got Iceland, but you've got every country in the world is being trapped into increasing debt. And all that happens is that they increase the levels of the debt and smash the populations down. We need a revolt against this global financial system. And in its own way, Iceland is setting a reasonable example. Thank you, Iceland.
Well, in its latest move, Iceland says it's prepared to write off up to €24,000 from every household's mortgage, too. The International Monetary Fund isn't happy, though, saying it leaves little space for additional debt relief measures. But would other European citizens be happy for their tax money to be spent that way? RT's been gauging opinions in the UK and also in Germany.
Sounds great, yeah.
Why?
Well, just to get rid of your debt? Well, it's perfect, because then obviously you can spend that money on something else.
Perfect. I think certainly it would help a lot of families just to get over that hurdle, that sort of chunk of money that could really make a difference to a lot of people.
Well, I think it would be bad for the country, wouldn't it?
Really?
For the economy.
Why?
Yeah, because the public debt just goes up and I don't think the country can afford it.
It would be very great. Everyone could buy a house, yeah?
I think it's a good thing. We used to have laws in Germany where you could get subsidies as a homeowner, but that's a thing of the past.
I think for individual people, it would be good news, but not for the country. You never know where the money comes from for such gifts.
Iceland's crisis plan, though controversial, has helped many there stave off financial disaster. But here's what happens when government measures don't go so well. Almost a quarter of people in the EU live under the threat of poverty. That's more than 120 million people. Two of the latest additions to the bloc, Bulgaria and Romania, top the list of Europe's poorest countries. And next, as Igor Piskunov reports, even the founding EU states like Italy are now struggling more than ever.
Marco used to work as a pizzaiolo. Many Italians used to call it the golden skill, which would always get you work in Rome. But it didn't hold true for Marco. One day he was sacked and has not been hired since. He's been living on the street for about 4 years now and says at 46 he sees little chance of fixing his life. He asked us not to reveal his identity.
When you live on the street, survival is what takes up most of your time. Simply getting a shower is a challenge. It takes so much time to take care of yourself like a normal person. You reach the end of the day and you're exhausted and depressed.
With the Italian economy going through its longest recession since the Second World War, over 12% of adults are unemployed, while 4 out of 10 young people don't have a job. There are no official figures on the homeless.
We have any type of food that we can get for free from somewhere.
More Italians are beginning to turn to charity and humanitarian aid for help.
2 years ago, we had about 55% were foreigners and 45% Italian. Today, we have about 65% Italian, 35% foreigners. So it has completely reversed.
Everything on these shelves is free, given in exchange for points allocated to low-income families by the global charity network Caritas. Most of the food is near its expiration date, except for specially labeled aid.
It's really similar to an ordinary supermarket. You've got bread, pasta, dairy, meat products, vegetables, and so on. But the one thing which really stands out are these packages with signs saying not for sale. And this is humanitarian aid from the European Union. And altogether, these products make up around a third of all the stuff here.
Caritas is now raising the alarm, saying around 1/3 of all Italian children are at risk of poverty and are lacking basic essentials such as protein-rich foods, heating and clothes. Igor Piskunov, RT, Rome.
Meantime.